Hey everyone, uh, they're ready. That's the first thing I feel when I tune into your energy today. Not that something is building or approaching or almost here, that it's ready. That someone, a specific, real, entirely particular someone in your life has reached the point where what they've been carrying inside them can no longer stay inside them, where the weight of the unsaid has become greater than the fear of saying it, where they look at the possibility of another day going by without you knowing what they know, without you hearing what they need you to hear, and that possibility has become simply unbearable. They are done waiting. And the question, the one I feel pulsing in the energy of this reading, the one that is more urgent to this person than almost anything else right now, is whether you are ready, whether the version of you that receives what they're about to say will be open enough, present enough, unguarded enough to actually let it in, to actually hear it in the full, complete, life-shifting way it was meant to be heard. Because what they're about to tell you is not small. I want to make sure you understand that before we go anywhere else. This is not a casual disclosure, not a light conversation that could happen or not happen without consequence. What this person is preparing to tell you, what they have been preparing to tell you, in some cases for longer than you would believe if I told you, is the kind of thing that changes the space between two people permanently, that makes the before and after of this moment undeniable, that once said cannot be unsaid and does not need to be. Because it is true. Whatever it is, and let me get into the specifics of what I'm feeling, it is true in the deepest, most unqualified sense, not true today and possibly not true tomorrow. Not true in the way of feelings that are real in the moment and then fade as circumstances change. True in the way that the most significant things are true steadily, permanently, in a way that has survived time and distance and doubt and the kind of internal resistance that people apply to feelings that scare them with their size. This has survived all of that, and now it needs to be spoken. Let me tell you what I'm actually feeling about this person, because I think understanding who they are in this moment, the internal landscape they're navigating right now as they stand at the edge of saying what they need to say, is going to help you receive it in the way it deserves to be received. What I feel first is nervousness, and I want to name the specific quality of it because it's not the ordinary kind. This is not the nervousness of someone who isn't sure of what they feel. They are completely sure of what they feel. This is the nervousness of someone who is completely sure and therefore has everything to lose. The vulnerability of having arrived at absolute certainty about something that involves another person, you whose response they cannot control and cannot predict with the confidence they would like. They know what they feel, they don't know what you'll do with it. And that gap between their certainty and your unknown response is where all the nervousness lives. It is a very particular, very human, very tender place to stand. Standing at the edge of saying something that is completely true for you, completely real, completely from the deepest part of who you are, and not knowing whether the person receiving it will meet you there. That is where they are right now. I also feel, and this comes through, with a warmth that is almost overwhelming, a quality of hope. Not the fragile kind that collapses at the first sign of difficulty, the resilient kind, the kind that has been tested by time, by circumstance, by their own doubts, by moments when they almost said it and then pulled back, by the long silence that they have maintained when speaking would have been so much easier and has survived every test. This hope is not naive. It is not the hope of someone who hasn't considered the possibility that things might not go the way they want. They have considered it fully, honestly, and they have decided, and I feel this decision with a clarity that stops me that saying this is worth the risk of any outcome, that carrying it unsaid any longer is no longer something they are willing to do. They have chosen courage, and choosing courage, real courage, the kind that acts without guarantee, is one of the most significant things a person can do for themselves, for the person they're brave enough to be honest with. For you, now let me get into what I feel they are actually going to tell you, because I feel it, not in parts, but as a whole, as something with weight and texture and specific meaning. And I want to give it to you as accurately as I can, because I think hearing it in this way first, letting it arrive in this space before it arrives in person, is going to help you be ready in the way they're hoping. You'll be ready. What they want to tell you is that you changed something in them, not gradually, not in the way that people change slowly over years of exposure to the same influence. In the specific, identifiable, I can point to the before and the after kind of way. There is a version of this person that existed before you, before knowing you, before being in your presence, before experiencing what it feels like to be genuinely seen by you and genuinely moved by you, and a version that exists after, and those two versions are not the same. You did that, not through any grand gesture or remarkable act, through the specific, particular, entirely ordinary and entirely extraordinary way that you simply are, the way you show up in the world, the way you hold your attention on someone when they're speaking to you and they can feel that you're actually present rather than performing presence, the way your mind moves, the specific texture of how you think, how you make connections, how you see things that other people walk right past, the way you love the things you love with a genuineness that is, in a world full of performed enthusiasm, genuinely rare. All of that, the specific, irreplaceable, all of that. It changed them, and they need you to know it, not as a compliment, as a fact about their life that you are responsible for in the most beautiful sense of the word responsible, and that you deserve to understand the full weight of. The second thing they want to tell you, and I feel this arriving right behind the first, inseparable from it, is that they have been afraid. Afraid of the size of what they feel, afraid of what it means, afraid of what saying it out loud will do to the dynamic between you, whether it will complicate something that has felt precious in its current form, whether it will create an imbalance that can't be undone, whether saying it will somehow be too much. They have been sitting with that fear for a long time. And I want you to hear what the fear tells you about the feeling underneath it, because we don't fear what doesn't matter. We don't spend significant emotional energy worrying about the reception of something we could easily replace or recover from. The size of someone's fear around expressing something is usually a direct reflection of the size of what they're expressing. Their fear has been large, which means what they feel is larger. And the third thing, the thing that I feel as the most essential, most urgent, most completely from the center of who they are, is love. In whatever form is true for them And for this specific connection, I don't want to put a particular shape on it because I feel it differently for different people receiving this reading, and I want to be accurate rather than generic. For some of you, this is romantic love. The complete, I want to build something real with you. You are the person I keep choosing when imagine my life kind. The love that has a future tense to it, that is not just about what is felt right now, but about what this person wants going forward, what they want to offer, what they want to share, what they are asking with everything in them for the chance to become. For others of you, this is a different kind of love, a friendship love that has grown into something so significant it no longer fits easily into that category. A family love that has been strained by something and is now, after everything, trying to find its way back to the surface. A love that is complicated by history but not diminished by it. A love that has survived things it shouldn't have had to survive and has emerged on the other side still present, still real, still worth saying out loud. Whatever its form, and you will know which one is yours. This is love they are about to speak. Real, specific, they mean every word of it, love. Directed at you, intended for you, arriving for you. Today, or very soon, in a moment that is already moving toward you. Now, I want to do something that I feel this reading is specifically asking me to do. I want to speak not just about them, but about you, about the version of you that is going to receive this, about what I feel in your energy around this moment and what I think you need to be aware of before it arrives. Because I feel something, and it's important. I feel a complicated mixture in you around the idea of receiving this, and I want to name its components because I think naming them is the first step to being able to move through them rather than be moved by them in ways you don't intend. The first component is longing, a real, genuine, this is something I have wanted longing that lives right at the surface of your energy when I tune in. The part of you that hears what I'm describing and feels, yes, yes, that. I want that. I have wanted something like this for longer than I've easily admitted. That longing is real and it is right to feel it. Don't manage it away. Don't immediately analyze whether it's appropriate or whether it fits your plans or whether you should want it as much as you do. Just let it be what it is. Information about what matters to you, about what you're ready for, about what you've been hoping for in the quiet parts of yourself, even while the louder parts were busy with other things. The second component is fear, your own fear, mirroring theirs in some ways. The fear of what changes if you receive this and respond to it, of what your life looks like after this threshold is crossed, of whether you're ready for what comes next, the vulnerability, the openness, the genuine risk of letting someone matter to you in the full way that this person is about to ask to matter. I understand that fear completely. And I want to say something honest about it. That fear is not a warning. It is not your intuition telling you that something is wrong or that this person isn't safe or that the feeling isn't genuine. It is simply the natural response of a person who has been through enough to understand that love, real love, the kind worth having, requires a vulnerability that has a real cost if things go wrong. But you know what also has a cost? Not receiving it. The cost of closing, of deflecting, of letting the fear make the decision rather than the longing. That cost is paid quietly and over time in the form of a life slightly less full than it could be, a connection slightly less real than it could be, a version of yourself slightly less open than you actually want to be. That cost is real too. And the third component, and this one I feel most specifically, most personally, is disbelief. A quiet, persistent, this can't really be for me disbelief that has shadowed your relationship to good things for a long time. The part of you that hears someone is about to tell you something significant, something loving, something real, and immediately starts looking for the footnote, the qualification, the part where it turns out to be slightly less than it seemed. I want to address that directly. There is no footnote. What this person is about to say is exactly what it is: full, complete, unqualified, without a hidden condition waiting to surface once you've let your guard down. They have thought about this for too long, felt it too deeply, tested it against too many internal doubts of their own to arrive at this moment with anything less than their whole truth. Their whole truth is coming, and you deserve to receive it as such, not through the filter of disbelief, not with one part of you already searching for the catch. With the simple, grounded, I am here and I am open, openness of someone who has decided before the moment arrives, in the preparatory privacy of right now, that they are worth receiving something real. You are worth receiving something real. Say it to yourself right now, not as a performance, as a genuine, internal, this is actually true acknowledgement. I am worth receiving something real. I am worth being loved without a footnote. I am worth someone's whole truth delivered with courage and hope and the specific vulnerability of a person who has decided I matter enough to risk for. Because all of that is true, and all of that is what's coming. Let me speak now about the timing of this, because I feel it as immediate in a way that I want to convey accurately without creating pressure around it. What I sense is that this person has made the decision, the internal decision, the one that precedes the action, the one where you commit to doing something before you've actually done it, has been made. And once that decision is made at the level I feel it has been made, the action follows. Not immediately necessarily, but soon, with an inevitability that doesn't depend on circumstances being perfectly aligned or a specific moment presenting itself as ideal. They are going to create the moment rather than waiting for it to arrive organically, rather than hoping for the perfect opening. They are going to make it happen because they have decided that waiting for perfect conditions is just another version of waiting indefinitely, and they are done with indefinitely. Which means the only real question is when it happens. When they create that moment and step into it and say what they've been holding, who are you going to be in that moment? Not what are you going to say, who are you going to be? Are you going to be the version of you that receives from behind glass, warm on the surface but protected underneath, genuinely moved but careful not to show the full extent of it, present but with one foot still on solid ground just in case? Or are you going to be the version that is simply, fully, entirely there, present, open, real, the version that meets courage with courage? Because that's what this moment is going to ask of you. Not perfection, not the right words immediately, or the perfectly calibrated response, just the willingness to be as honest as they are being, as present as they are being, as brave in your own way as they are being in theirs. I want to say something here that I feel strongly, and I don't want to skip past it. The courage it takes to say what this person is about to say to you, to walk towards someone with your whole feeling in your hands, to make yourself that visible, that vulnerable, that completely without armor deserves to be met. Not with reciprocation necessarily, not if that reciprocation isn't true for you, but with the dignity of being genuinely heard, of being received as a full human being who just did something genuinely brave, of having their truth treated with the care that truth of that size deserves. Whatever your response, and I feel that for most of you receiving this reading, the response is going to be more reciprocal than you've allowed yourself to admit. Meet them with that care. Be as gentle with their vulnerability as you would want someone to be with yours. Now I want to speak about what happens after, because I feel it, and I think you need a sense of what's possible on the other side of this moment. Not as a guarantee. I don't deal in guarantees because life is more complicated and more interesting than guarantees, but as a genuine energetic reading of what opens up when two people decide to stop being careful with each other and start being real. What opens up is space. Enormous, breathable, finally, there's room to actually be ourselves space. The specific spaciousness that comes when the thing that has been unspoken between two people is finally spoken. When the careful management of what to show and what to hide is no longer necessary, because what needed to be revealed has been revealed, and the world didn't end, and the connection didn't break, and what's left is something more honest and more solid than what existed before. That space is where real things grow, not the managed, carefully constructed, mutually agreed upon performance of connection that most relationships operate within for far too long. Real things, genuine things. The kind of intimacy, and I use that word in its fullest sense, not just romantic, but human, the intimacy of actually knowing and being known that most people spend their whole lives reaching toward without quite arriving at. That is what's on the other side of this conversation. And I feel clearly, warmly, with genuine joy for you that what this person is about to say is the door to that space, is the key that opens it, is the moment of honesty that makes everything after it more honest, more real, more fully what both of you actually want it to be. Don't be afraid of the door. Walk through it with whatever version of yourself is actually present in that moment. Not the prepared version, not the version that has rehearsed its response, the real one, the one that shows up when something genuinely matters and there isn't time to edit yourself into something more presentable. That version is enough. It is more than enough. It is exactly who this person is hoping to meet on the other side of what they're about to say. Let me now give you something practical, something to carry between this moment and the moment when they step forward and say what they need to say. The first thing, pay attention to this person in the time between now and then, not with the hyper-vigilant attention of someone who is analyzing every signal and looking for confirmation of what I've said, with genuine, warm, open attention, because they are already communicating, already sending signals in how they look at you, in what they say and what they deliberately don't say, in the quality of their presence when they're near you that you might be moving through too quickly to fully register. Slow down around them. Let yourself actually see what's been there. The second thing, do an honest inventory of your own feeling. Before they speak, before their disclosure creates the pressure of needing to respond, take some quiet time with yourself and ask honestly, what do I actually feel about this person? Not what's convenient to feel, not what fits neatly into the life I've already planned. What is actually true in me when I let myself be completely honest? Because your honest answer to that question is what's going to determine whether this moment becomes a beginning or remains a single beautiful event without consequence. And your honest answer deserves to be known to you before it's needed by anyone else. The third thing, release the need to have the perfect response. When this person speaks, you do not need to immediately say the exact right thing. You do not need to be articulate in the moment or have fully formed feelings or know exactly how to categorize what you feel or what you want. You are allowed to be moved. You are allowed to need a moment. You are allowed to say, I hear you. This matters. Give me a little time to be honest with you in return. Honesty that takes a moment is worth more than immediate perfection. And the fourth thing, let this matter. Let yourself feel the full significance of what's approaching. Don't minimize it into something manageable before it arrives. Don't preemptively flatten the emotional landscape of this moment to protect yourself from the size of it. Let it be as big as it is, because it is big. And big things, when they're good, when they're real, when they're the kind that arrive after everything that was required to get here, deserve to be felt at their full size. Feel it at its full size. All of it. The nervousness and the longing and the disbelief, and underneath all of that, the quiet, steady, this is actually happening joy of someone who is standing at the edge of something that is going to change their life in the best possible way. Because that's where you are. Right at the edge of something genuinely, specifically, irreversibly good. And someone real, specific, full of everything they've been holding for longer than you know, is hoping with everything they have that you're ready. Are you ready? I think you are. I think underneath everything, in the quiet knowing that lives beneath the noise of the uncertainty and the protection and the careful management of hope, I think you've been ready for a while. And I think some part of you has known this was coming, has felt it building, has sensed the shift in the energy between you, has noticed the particular quality of this person's presence recently and filed it somewhere and tried not to make too much of it, because making too much of things that then don't materialize is a specific kind of painful. But this is materializing right now, already in motion, already past the point of turning back on their end. The only question left is whether you'll be open when it arrives. Be open, be present, be exactly who you are in that moment, real and human and slightly nervous and genuinely moved and completely, entirely worthy of every word they are about to say, because you are so completely worthy of this, and it is coming. Today or very soon, someone who has been hoping you're ready is about to find out. And I genuinely, warmly, with everything I feel in this reading, I believe they are going to find out that you are. Drop a comment below. Tell me, do you know who this is? Can you feel this person in your life right now? And tell me, what do you think they're about to say? Because I want to know. I want to be here when you come back and tell me it happened, because it is going to happen. And when it does, it is going to be everything this reading said it would be. Share this with someone who needs to know that someone in their life is holding something real for them, that the love they've been hoping for is not imaginary, that it exists, that it has a person behind it, that it is coming toward them right now with courage and hope and a heart full of everything they've always deserved to receive. It's real. For you, it has always been real. Take care, Virgo.